Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello to Vanna. Hey, Vanna. That's my friend's dog. I was babysitting. Taking her back home now. On this video, I want to talk about a particularly challenging project that we have been working on. And in the past 4 years in business, there's been a couple of those. But this one, I think, has been the most challenging because the customer's just the customer has been through a lot. You know, she's been through a lot. She's been burned multiple times. So I'm gonna start from the beginning and tell you guys where we're at today with the project. By the way, she's super happy with the project so far. So what happened was about 3 months ago, Kathy reached out to us for some work that she wanted done in one of her rental properties here in Stuart, Florida. And so I sent one of my guys out there. His name was Derek. You know, he's worked with me for a couple of months. He does good work from you know, what I've seen so far. You know, he's been doing good work. So basically, you know, Derek went out there. We submitted an estimate for Kathy. I think at that point she wanted windows replaced, the inside of the home painted, and the 2 bathrooms remodeled. So we submitted an estimate, and you know, we never heard back from her. And then I think a month later, she called me. She said, "Hey, you know, I really need your help. Derek," she said, "Derek started the project, and she paid him a deposit. She gave him money directly to start the project, and he disappeared." So, and I said, "Hold on, Kathy, let me pull up my QuickBooks and let me pull up your project," you know. So I pulled up her file on my computer, and it showed that, you know, the estimate was declined. She did not approve the estimate that Home and Beyond Services submitted to her. I felt horrible. I mean, I said, "Look, I'm really sorry for what happened, but like, Derek is not working with me anymore. Derek hasn't worked with us for, you know, almost 2-3 weeks at that point when she called." She was like, "No, I know, and I know I didn't hire you, and I know I should have just went with you, but he seemed like a nice guy, and he gave me such a good price." And you know, so long story short, what happened was, you know, one of my guys stole one of my customers. It happens. There's nothing I can do about it, you know. So yeah, that happened. And not only did he play a part in it, but like also the customer, you know, wanted to cut the company out and go with the cheaper guy. You know, I mean, who wouldn't, right? Of course, the individual is going to give you a better price, but you know, when you're hiring an individual, like I've said multiple times, is you're taking a risk. You know, when you hire a company, you're hiring a reputable company, man. Like, the company is going to stand behind that work. You know, we're going to guarantee that job is done and you're happy. The individual doesn't care. You know, the individual can just take your money and never show back up again. And unfortunately for Kathy, this is what happened. I told her, I said, "Kathy, I'm sorry. I mean, well, best I could do for you is I can, you know, have one of my other guys come out and we can submit another estimate for you, see what's been done and see what needs to be done, you know." So that's what we did. I sent Keith out there. We submitted another estimate, and she declined it again. Okay. She didn't try, you know, Keith worked for me for almost a year. Like, I trust Keith. Keith wasn't going to try to steal any of my customers. Derek's only been with me for a couple of months. So, you know, she declined the estimate again. said, all right, cool, you know, no problem. And then, sure thing, I think it was like another month later, she called me again. She said, Batu, I'm so sorry, I need you to help me out. You know, and I said, Kathy, I've submitted multiple estimates to you. You keep declining my estimates, and you keep going with the cheaper guy, and then you keep calling me back to save you. Are you going to let me help, or are you just, you know, are you just going to have me work up another estimate for you to decline? You know, and I said, and she said, I'm so sorry, you know, like, yes, let's just do it. You know, I said, so basically, long story short, she hired another company. After I submitted my second or third or whatever estimate that was, she decided to go with another company and have them do the work. And she said that they were a reputable company and that they knew that she looked them up online or something. I don't know what happened, but anyways, the guys did a horrible job in the bathroom, in the shower. They it was just one of the worst things that I've ever seen. I don't really like talking bad about the previous guy's work, because that's what contractors do. That's what tradesmen do. It doesn't matter how good of a job you do. The next guy is always gonna point something out to make himself look like he's superior. It's just the industry standard. It happens, you know. So, but just between me and you guys, I mean, this was definitely a memorable one for sure. So anyways, again, I sent Jeff out there because Keith was busy. I sent Jeff out there. We submitted. Oh no, I'm sorry, Ben. I sent Ben out there for the third estimate. I sent Ben out there for the third estimate, and Ben gave me an estimate, and then Ben started the job, and then 2 days into the job, so she actually approved the estimate. We had a signed contract, we collected the deposit and everything, and then Ben started the job, and on the third day, Ben was a no-call, no-show, so I had to fire Ben, and Kathy was really upset. Kathy called me asking me what's going on. Why did Ben not show up today? And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, he was a no-call, no-show. And she was super pissed. And she was, you know, she got angry on the phone. And she has every right to, man. Everything that this lady's been through, not only with what just happened with me, but with, like, the previous guys, you know. I'm just... You know, I mean, I felt absolutely horrible, and the only thing I can do is the next right thing, which is to bring in one of my other guys to take the project over. You know, keep it seamless. You know, but she got really upset, and I said, Kathy, I can either assign the project to my guy Jeff, and he'll be there to take care of it, or I can refund you your whole deposit right now. You know, and she had made a deposit. It was over $6,000 for us to cover materials and the start date. She was like, yeah, I want my money back. I said, no problem, Kathy. As soon as I get back to the office, I will write the check out and I will put it in the mail. If you want, I can bring it by personally. No problem, you know? And that's how the phone call ended, you know? So I was on my way back to the office, write this check out so I can mail it to Kathy. And then I get a phone call from an out-of-state number. It turns out it was her brother or her cousin, and that's a contractor up north somewhere, and we kind of went back and forth, and I explained everything to him, and you know, he was a super cool guy, and he was like, look, man, like, is there anything we can do to just continue this process so we can help her out? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, you know, I have a commitment to Kathy. We have a signed contract, you know, that I would like to finish the project. I have no problem finishing the project, but she was so upset on the phone that, you know, I gave her an option, like, hey, if you want your money back, I have no problem giving you your money back right now, you know, no hesitation. And she accepted that. He was like, no, let me talk to her, and let me see what I can do, because I just want you guys to do this project. I was like, all right, man, no problem, you know, give me a call back. And then he called me back a few minutes later. He said, yeah, I talked to Kathy. We're just going to move forward. Can you please just have one of your other guys continue the project? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, man, no problem. You know, we're on it. And sure thing, you know, I put Jeff on the project. Jeff came in to save the day, and you know, project's going good. It's just been really rough. It's been really rough from the start with her, and a lot of people, you know, would probably not even want to take on a job like that because of the headache that it's already coming with. There's a lot of baggage with this project, you know. You got to make right for everything that all the other guys did, you know. So it was a very tricky situation, but we're making it right. The bathrooms are coming out amazing. I posted them online. I'll see if I can maybe post some pictures on here. Kathy's been out of town. She's coming back in town this weekend. And yeah, so far so good. She's super happy with the progress pictures that we've been sending her. I can't wait for her to come into town and take a look, and you know, hopefully she likes everything she sees, and hopefully we can show her that, you know, there are some guys out here that are doing the right thing. You know, we're not just, you know, fly-by-night company trying to collect deposits and run off or anything like that, you know. And I think it says a lot that, you know, I was willing to just immediately refund her full deposit, like right away, you know, minus materials we bought for the project and delivered on site. So, you know, just to clarify that. But yeah, guys, that's it. I think that's been the most difficult project thus far to date. But I think me and the team are handling it the best that we can. Just looking forward to seeing the customer happy, man. You know, that's it. That's what I'm here for. I'm hoping she'll leave us a great review. I'm looking forward to the final after pictures. Probably put them on the website. We'll probably make another video showing everything. Anyways, guys, that's all I want to talk about. I just want to talk about that difficult project, the whole process from start to finish, and how we're handling it, and how things went wrong, and how to kind of deal with things on a day-to-day basis as a contractor, you know. So again, like always, guys, if you have any questions, any recommendations or suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'm running out of ideas, so let me know. Thank you. Bye.